Hey everyone, it's Sharronda from Payorwait, and welcome to the Lovecraft Country live after show. Tonight we're going to be breaking down episode 9, Rewind 1921. I have my lovely co-host for the evening. You know, our girl had left us last week and she was deeply missed. We're going to bring in our favorite older sibling, Shade Thor. Welcome back, KB.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
I am doing
Then
well.
We have to bring back the... Oh, is my thing lagging again? My internet being raggedy again?
It's lagging a little bit,
Dang,
but you know.
Dang. I'm just trying to be great. Okay. We'll call and speak with the manager tomorrow morning. But I have my king of the Christina White Queen Hive. Welcome back to the show. What up, Trey?
We're back again. All things Christina, you know, still strong. 8 weeks or 9 weeks later. 9 weeks later, yes.
We got one more each other. I'm so sad. I'm like so happy, but so sad. Like I'm happy to go to sleep early on Sundays because you guys, it's this bed time. I'm in bed, okay? So, Kay, give me your thoughts, your quick thoughts on just how you feel about episode 9.
Hey y'all. Okay, so episode 9, I liked it. I will say overall I liked it. Didn't give me as much storyline wise to really progress where I feel like we need to be by next week, which is the end. Like I still got mad questions, but here we are. You know, for me, Montrose's storyline, he starts off getting on my nerves, I'll be honest. You know, the first 80% of the episode, he was on my nerves. But then you see more of his trauma and having to relive that pain and understanding why he didn't want to go back. And you really start to empathize with him. So I thought this was a great story arc for Montrose. But overall, my G, where are we headed? Like, okay, Christina wants to be immortal. Okay, girl, what's new? Like, I mean, who doesn't? Well, really, I don't. But who doesn't in this world? And so I'm just kind of like, okay, sis. Then I was kind of like, Ruby, you think Christina not lying to you? And what's with this? Y'all want to go together, just be together. Like, I kind of feel like that as well. And then lastly, we got the book of names. Yes. But I still don't see how it's going to save anything. Like, I truly still feel like I'm in the dark. But shout out to the people in this chat who said that, you know, Atticus was going to be the man with the baseball bat, that he was always the man with the baseball bat. I said, oh, shout out to y'all. Y'all be knowing things.
Because I didn't think nothing of it until they started saying it. And I know I'm going to go to hell for this, but it's okay. Like, the Lord can redeem my soul. But Ratro's still raggedy. He's still trash.
Ooh, he was on my nerves like the first 30 minutes.
I appreciate the story, but bruh. I'm just confused. So Trey, Stan, king of the White Queen Hive. What are your thoughts?
I like this episode in different ways. First of all, I don't know how we're going to wrap all this stuff up before next week. Maybe they got like an hour 15 stuck in there somewhere, hour 30. But I don't say we're gonna get all this together in 1 hour. But I did like this episode. I feel like the later half of the season is different. Not in tone, but like just like the way it moves the storyline. Like, we didn't get much background and context in the first half of the season, which, you know, I thought was okay, cool. And now as we're going on, I feel like all the stories just coming together like at such a fast pace. And I still like all the episodes, but part of me is just like some things happen, such as just like Hippolyta popping up out of nowhere. I'm like, wait, okay, let's rewind and see like what actually happened. And it kind of happened, you know, I think it was the previous episode, the one before that, where the whole like 45 minutes went by and Atticus told Montrose, oh yeah, I went into the future, like I found out that I'm gonna die.
That was last episode.
And I'm like, okay, but overall I did like this episode. I think that this kind of served as the Montrose episode of sorts if he were to get his standalone arc, and it did make you empathize with him. And I think it kind of made it more we kind of got Atticus and Montrose to come together more than they have this whole entire season. I'm glad that happened because both of them were just kind of getting on my nerves. Like even when it was this episode, just like why, Montrose yelling and then Atticus crying, and the juxtaposition at the beginning of the episode when like Montrose is about to like start on Letty, and then Ruby was like, hold up, wait. She had to do this for herself. So I like that. I like those first 10 minutes were just like a lot.
Child, them Montrose tears never fail. I mean,
look, Nicole says, I believe there's going to be a season 2 from what I've been reading. Also, they said season finale, not series finale. Also, I need a tick in my life. As long as you're not coming from my man, baby, I hope that you do something in your life. He got somebody already. But let's go ahead and get into this episode now that my Wi-Fi seems to be working correctly now. So I'm so over them, Lord. Okay, so let's talk about D first. So last week, at the end of the episode, we saw that the Demon Twins, I know they have names, but they're going to be Demon Twins for me. And basically, they put a curse on her. And I'm sorry for those who watched my recap video. I did say they uploaded something into her as if they were like computers. And, just forgive me. Sometimes I'm in the 21st century and I gotta realize that we're in the late 50s. So my apologies. But they put a curse in her. And so we see that her arm, I was like, baby, what happened? Your arm, like the whole thing that spread up to her face. I was just like, my God. But what really took me out, let's talk about the parental supervision. Because there's a problem that we need to discuss. When Ruby was telling them like, hey, guys, it's all of your faults. I said, let me bring that up back real quick. Let me rewind like the episode said. Ruby, weren't you supposed to be watching her too? I was really confused. I said, you over here across the side of town with your white queen when you were supposed to be sitting up there watching D. So I was just really confused as to why people were not taking the proper responsibility for why D is in the state that she's in.
And it's really not, hey, Ruby, weren't you supposed to be watching her too? It's, hey, Ruby, weren't you supposed to be watching her? Because technically, Hippolyta was mad at her entire family and did not give them permission to watch D. So the sole responsibility was actually on Ruby. And she was just like, "Ooh, it's all y'all's fault."
Look, Carlos said, well, he said the fault was on everyone. I actually went back and rewound that because, the episode said rewind. So I did a little rewind and she said your.
Yeah, she didn't say our. She blamed them.
I mean, I was just really confused.
Can I say something though about those twins?
You said what?
Can I say something about the twins?
Well, you can say something about the Demon Twins.
I don't see the purpose of them. Like in the overall storyline, I don't understand why we need them.
I mean, it kind of goes to what I've said about these past 5. I mean, the back 5 episodes. And we talked about this briefly before we jumped on about how the other, as opposed to the Tulsa episode, which was today, we didn't really see these historical nuggets that we saw in the prior episodes. It's just a different vibe for these last 5. I feel. Yeah,
like the second half of the season has like definitely been different. And I know everyone's like, there's so much happening that everyone's kind of like excited because it's all this like craziness happening. But as far as like actually moving the story along, it's not that much that's been happening these past couple of episodes. But we see that Ruby basically gets Christina to come and do the spell. This is after Atticus is like, well, we'll just give the Titus's pages to her. I was like, Tick, why are all of y'all so quick to get in bed with the devil? Y'all literally talk about we can't trust Christina. Then he like, let me get the pages to her with all the group as a whole. Then Letty had to tell him. But what I was confused about is why Montrose got froggy and decided to leave at Letty.
So
That's what Ruby was like. Wait.
Yes. Yes. And I really feel like, honestly, though, y'all, my biggest complaint about this whole scene is everybody's holding secrets about this pregnancy. But haven't we learned that keeping secrets is just dumb right now? Like, everybody just share what you know. Because, like, we don't have time for this. Like, Dee has this demon, you know, who basically bit her and put this curse on her, in addition to Lancaster. Then we got, you know, Hippolyta's gone. Then why are we keeping secrets? Why are we not openly sharing information? Because we don't have time. And Christina is not here, so speak freely. But the real reason, I guess, is because they still feel like Ruby is a spy, which high key, she might be. I mean, here we are. And so they feel like she's a spy and they can't share with her. But listen, we need to just lay all our cards out on the table because we don't have time.
I need to settle something real quick with Nicole real quick because she said Tick is her man, and I'm just really confused by this. Sis, it's been 5 years since I've had a man. Okay, so I win. This is my man. I'll let you get him on the weekends. Okay. We get him on the weekends.
I just would like to say that I know that we have been divided at some points about the use of modern music in this series, but I would have loved to have seen On the Run by Beyonce and Jay-Z when Ruby got in that car with Christina and they drove off and they were just looking at Lady
like, and what, honey?
That was a prime placement.
I just really need for Letty to find out that Ruby is being dicked down by Christina.
I mean, she has to. I mean, I think. Does she know that?
What? She don't know. No.
She knows that. Actually, I don't know.
She doesn't know anything except for that Ruby is staying with a white man across town, but
she doesn't. Okay,
she doesn't know that Christina and William are the same person.
Yes, she does. She told her. This is when she was like, yeah, this is when she was like, yeah, Christina's gonna teach me magic. She was like telling her all of this. It happened so quickly. That was my issue with that whole conversation. I was just like, this needed to be like a 10-minute conversation of her.
In that conversation, I did not recall her saying William and Christina are the same person. I know she told her that she knew magic was involved, but I did not hear her say.
It went by real.
I didn't hear her say.
Something that's been going on for the back half of the season.
Right.
A lot of stuff is just skated through, or is just. I think a lot of stuff also gets implied.
Oh, shout out to Mary. Thank you, Boothang, for the super chat. We love you.
Child, I can't believe I missed that quick nugget. But either way, I know for a fact that she is not telling her that they're having sex, though.
I mean, obviously, she got to be having sex if she keep going back.
I don't remember her directly saying that. I have to go back, but I do remember that I remember her saying something in regards to like them being like basically the same. Oh, she said Christina was a man 50% of the time. That does ring a bell.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, too, I feel like it's a very missed opportunity that we haven't turned the Topsy and Bopsy, whatever the Demon Twins' names are, into a TikTok dance. Because low key, as we get to the whole point of the spell, I was like, if they don't use that intro and then have them start doing a TikTok dance tutorial, I feel like this was a missed opportunity. Like, we had it for they did it for the Scooby-Doo movie. Might as well do it for Lovecraft Country.
Like, come on, HBO marketing.
Go ahead, okay? You can have it for free.
I just want to make sure, I don't know about Kay, but I don't think we weren't talking about like the twins, like I think not as far as like what they meant in general. For me,
for them
it just felt like how they progress the story.
Yeah.
Like, I know what the twins represent, just in general, but I'm like, for me, what is the point of the twins? Like, I don't understand going into episode 10, kind of what value they hold in driving the narrative for the rest of the season. I'm like, we could have really left them out, to be honest.
And when you think of like the other like nuggety things that happened earlier in the season, I feel like they always came back later on and had some sort of. I guess in some way, I guess it still has something to do with Dee. I mean, if Dee, her arm and stuff, but
But maybe it's because, like, is D left-handed? Like, is this her drawing arm? We know she's prophetic. You know what I'm saying? Like, does it have to do with something that's coming down? I don't see it for me yet. Like, I'm gonna trust them, but I don't see it.
Well, I was kind of confused. So after this, then Christina, obviously she has a purpose for coming, and she says she needs a book of names, and she kind of gives them everything that they need to do in order after they tell her about Lancaster, and she basically says like, hey, we need someone, a close relative's blood. So we see that this cuts to Montrose, who started drinking, and I'm just like, sir, I understand if you're drinking, but you're gonna drink some moonshine? Some moonshine? That's what you're trying to drink. And then Tick like kind of took it from him. Then he started drinking it and almost choked to death. I was like, yeah, put some hair on your chest, huh? Think you could drink whatever everybody else, that old man drink. You couldn't do it. But Montrose out of nowhere, oh yeah, I think Georgia daddy. What?
Another one that just
It was kind of like, sir, I feel like you could have had a better lead in for that versus like, actually, you probably the closest relative because Georgia daddy.
I was so confused, but I do want to give shout out to Jonathan, because like when he was like, so I was hiding out from you beating my behind to and wishing George was my dad, and he almost called him uncle, and I felt that. I definitely felt that. I would have been more upset like that you just so nonchalantly like, hey, George might be your daddy, by the way. But you want to know what really took me out, y'all? Let me tell you what really took me out, okay? Out of nowhere, Hippolyta pop up like, oh,
D sick? Man. She came back like so regular. She also came back like a true Black mama, though. Like a Black mama who's been listening to your conversation and just pops in. Okay, so you said what was happening? Like,
what happened to see? I'm like, girl, you been gone for 2 centuries, and that's what? Where you been? Where you been?
Looked at her like
they were all like, whoa. What?
She said, I came back right on time for my baby, no questions asked. But I do want to say, I did see that somebody said something about D is the one with the robotic arm that pushed Tick back through the portal. So,
okay.
No. And then someone else had said, they needed the curse to go back in 1921. I actually am not sure I believe that because they were already trying to figure out how to go back to the past. Like, remember, they had already figured out that they needed to go back to 1921 to get the Book of Names.
But I mean, but this is
like they were already trying to figure out how. So I guess maybe Dee's curse is the incentive.
But here's my issue, though. This goes back to how I felt about when Ruby told her about smashing William Christina. Like, oh, George is your dad, and then Atticus says one thing, and then Hippolyta interrupts the whole thing, and was just like, oh yeah, that's it. That was the big reveal. What? Like, could we get 5 minutes on that?
These are things that we've been thinking about like all season 2.
We just need more like continuity. Like, flush this out a bit more. Like, give me, just a little bit extra, honey.
Yeah, I was just very confused. I mean, I get it. That's how they needed to propel the story into going to 1921. I understand, but I felt like some of these things should have been fleshed out. And now that I'm really thinking about it, and this has nothing to do with anything I was about to say, where's G.I.? Where's G.I.?
Oh, no, I've been said that. Like, honestly, they brought her back for 35 seconds last episode just to leave her sitting in that dining room table by herself. Now, I was like, y'all brought her all the way. Like, she really traveled from Asia and came here, and y'all left her at this dining room table.
I mean,
and Tick didn't even make sure that she had a meal. Like, I mean, he's raggedy. He didn't even make sure that she had a snack. He did not make sure that she had a place to stay. He said, it's time for you to go. And I was just kind of like,
he didn't say it that nice, boo-boo. He said, get the F out.
I'm just saying, he was like, it's time for you to go. And I just kept thinking to myself, Letty, this you? Like, this who you want to be with? Because if you treat your ex-boo like this, what am I to expect? Me and
my your raggedy life. She spared his little raggedy life. He was gonna die anyway. You could have just ended it right then and there.
I mean, honestly, if I were G.I., I really would have murdered him at that table. To be honest, because I mean, like, first off, I came all the way here trying to save your life, and you're gonna treat me like this. Didn't even offer me a meal.
And you've been running my phone bill up, calling me and hanging up.
Right. Like, you gotta die. Like, I really told her off, went after Letty. And me, if I'm Letty, I'm like, I know darn well you treating both of us like this? Oh, you gotta be single, Tick. Gotta be.
International calling for me. This is an international moment charge for me.
Well, this is
I'm saying.
She traveled some miles to get over there too. Like, I get
some miles, honey. And you know airplanes were unstable then.
I'm just like, wow. I was highly confused, but I mean, so I did appreciate Hippolyta going off on them because this is my biggest pet peeve with Montrose, Tick, and Letty with Hippolyta. They sit up here, so they do the curse because by the time we get back to D, she full-fledged demon twin. Okay, I thought she was gonna get up and do a jig in the bed. I get out of bed and do a jig, but they break the spell. Okay, and then Hippolyta's like, "Oh, I'm taking my baby. We finna go to Kentucky," and which is still I don't understand how Tick got from St. Louis to Kentucky. That I'm still trying to figure that out. But she gets her in a car and then Tick and them are like, she needs to be in bed. She needs to do that. Y'all couldn't even watch my child while I was gone. She literally got attacked by 2 demon children and you couldn't even protect her for that. And you gonna tell me what I'm gonna do with me and mine? No.
Period.
I was just like, wow. So I'm just really confused. I mean, does it bother you guys that they continuously lie to Hippolyta and then try to tell her what to do?
Yes. But I mean, Hippolyta's over it. Like, honestly, what this episode proved to me again and again, because I've said this before and I will say it again, Hippolyta is the ace in the hole, and she proved exactly why this episode, because y'all couldn't have accomplished anything without her. Without her having the key, being the motherboard, having the knowledge, she fixed the time machine, inserted her body into the time machine, created a portal, held the portal open for you, Raggedy. Honestly, they treat her so poorly. But for me, Hippolyta is the ace in the hole because she was like, oh, okay, guys, sure, period. Anyway, I have things to do. And then I love how she casually said, get your ass in the car. Like, it was just so simple.
Get in the effing car. Get in the effing car. She said, I've traveled the world for 200 centuries. I have my own key. I know everything, okay?
Get in the car.
Get in the car. Because y'all ain't got your own car. You ain't even got your own car to do what you need to do.
No transportation.
Now, y'all talking all that trash, but y'all be walking on your own 2 feet.
And if nobody got a job. Nobody got a job. Where the jobs? Letty, you know what, Ruby, as much as you be telling Letty that Tick ain't none of y'all got no job. Who got a job?
Technically Tick does have a job because he's a war vet. No, technically he's getting funding, okay? Because he's a vet. But what has Montrose been doing his whole life? I never ever heard Tick mention now one thing about his daddy's job, though. Like, honestly, technically, Tick is a soldier. Okay, he's a countryman. That's what I'm gonna say. But Montrose, legitimately, we've heard not one word, not one time. George owns his business.
Ruby a sugar baby.
But honestly, though, everybody needs to be a sugar baby right now. So here we are. And then also, honestly, though, how does Christina still have wealth? Is it because her daddy died, or?
Yeah, she got all his money.
Very rich. Don't get
Wait, Trey tried to gather me. Trey said, "Oh, he's very wealthy."
You will not talk about my white queen. No. She's an employer because she's a sugar mama.
I know she's white, so I know that. And I know that she has money. Okay, but from her father's death, because otherwise, Christina don't have no job either. If we're gonna talk about everyone, let's talk about everyone.
She's an employer.
She's an entrepreneur.
She's an entrepreneur.
She's a sugar mama.
Many businesses.
She imposed Ruby to spy on her family. But Mimi brought up a good point. Mimi said the observatory was in Mayfield, Kansas, and I thought so too, Boo Thing.
And
but
when the pig said Kentucky,
I was confused. I said, what?
But wait a minute. Now I do have a question. Because we've been dabbling in time traveling universes, is it a possibility that this observatory is now in Kentucky?
I mean, it was confirmed that we are in a multiverse.
Right. So that's why I was like, maybe it's because this one is in Kentucky. And maybe we needed to know that for a reason moving forward.
It's only one episode. What you mean? It's only one episode left.
Well, first off, we might get a season 2. You don't know. And clearly we're going to have a season 2 because I know for a fact all of my questions won't be answered next episode. So I just...
Look, I'm just confused. So they end up going to the observatory and Hippolyta fixes the machine. But there's an interesting conversation that Montrose and Letty have. And Montrose, Letty's trying to explain to him that, hey, like, there's a reason I made the decision that I did. And he was like, yeah, you're pregnant. And, like, you made a decision that was to kill my child. And I'm just like, oh.
Honestly, Montrose was talking out the side of his neck. Like, Montrose was writing a ton of checks that he cannot cash. Like, I just was like.
the escalation.
And wait, he was ready to bounce on her. Like, the way he was at her neck was like.
He was on her neck this entire episode.
I was just like, I mean, the line sounded good if it wasn't coming from this raggedy human being. But I was just like, sir, you literally just killed someone at the end of episode 4. No explanation. We still don't even know what you killed Yahima for. Okay? I still don't know. I don't know if you guys know, but I still never got an answer for that. Okay?
Nope.
Then get information from them for like 3 whole episodes. So I'm just really confused, like how he is sitting on his high chair. I was just like, sir, you need to fall all the way completely back. You actually need to fall upon the altar, okay? When they do the altar call, you need to have your behind there first, okay? To pray for you a mess, just a mess.
My said, leave him be because you tried to kill my son. Like
it ain't no coming back from that. Okay.
Like it was intentional though, because I was just kind of like, Montrose, do you think that having 0 protection is better than having, I don't know,
I guess he said he only
his unborn son protected? Like, I just kind of was like, what?
But here was the gotcha after that though. She was like, how you know? And then he said, Tick told me. She's like, why he didn't say nothing to me? Why didn't you say nothing to him?
No, why isn't anyone communicating with anyone? That's my biggest problem.
And then Montrose did say, Tick knows he's gonna die. And she's like, oh. Well, why are
he still hasn't told Letty he went into the portal. He still even told Letty about the portal.
Trey's reenactment is sending me. Like, he said, oh.
It was so smooth. Oh, okay. And
she was like sad, but she was also probably thinking to herself, damn, you ain't even gonna let me know that you gonna die. And then my favorite part is when they're finally in Tulsa and they got their new clothes on, but they got the same shoes on, which
but everybody was money, and it was a dead giveaway.
Right. Okay. But when they get there and, they're talking and here go Letty. Well, we might as well name the baby George then. Damn.
We already knew the baby name was George. If y'all had a conversation, you would have known that.
I guess we could just name him George then. Like, because Montrose spilled the tea that it's a boy. Your son, when it comes with your son. And she was like, it's a boy?
That conversation was just like, I
was just like, okay, y'all. I mean, we could have did this a little bit better, but it is what it is. But I do appreciate Hippolyta being like, hey, cut the crap. I don't care what y'all little raggedy Negroes got going on right now, but what I know is that I'm trying to save my daughter. So whatever foolishness that y'all been having going on all season long, I don't have time for it because I am 2 centuries and I'm not dealing with this my first day back.
I also have a question though, because I mean, it's not really a question, it's a comment. I'm really tired of how everybody is at Letty's neck like, damn, girl, you pregnant? We do not have contraception. Like, I don't understand why y'all don't understand that we don't have birth control in this timeline. So why is everybody so upset? Like, I can't believe you got pregnant. What did y'all think was going to happen? I mean, truly, what did you think was going to occur?
But what I really need to know, before we get into the Tulsa aspect of it, I mean, I really want to know why Ruby hates Tick so much. Because we saw what
Ruby was ready to...
Well, for one, you already know she don't like his name. So she is already becoming...
Like, when she asked Christina, like, wasn't she gonna kill him? And she told her, like, yeah, I need all his blood. And she like, well, can you just protect my sister? Man, what?
Favor from you. When Christina said all of his blood, I was like, so death? Like, you just... Christina tried to make it sound like it was easy and like casual. She was like, yeah, so I need Tick's blood for my spell to become immortal. And I need all of it.
Maybe she's in the basement with Ardell and William. Maybe she got plans for him to be one of them Bidens down there.
Yeah, well, Ardell done flocked because Ruby unplugged her.
Well, Ruby talking about I want to be a redhead. I said, sis, you're not going to negotiate immortality for yourself? Like, so you just gonna die? And she like, Ruby, I need you to advocate for yourself, ma'am. Because you didn't already got your sister being a single mama forever. Because you just said, yeah, go ahead and kill Tick. Just protect my sister. But
take all his blood, honey.
I really didn't understand. But I guess before that, let's talk about random Captain Lancaster. I mean, they told us this now, but like he did. So I
don't know why.
So basically, they've been stealing black bodies in order to rejuvenate himself when he gets hurt. And I mean, I was just like, I mean, thank you for telling me now, but do it matter? Like, does this matter for any of the story? Yes, Christina got her revenge for him killing her lover, but I was kind of just like, okay.
I mean, listen, I'm so glad that he's officially dead. To be honest, I actually thought Christina Williams was there to help the spell actually work, but come to find out, no, she just watched him die. And honestly, I'm not mad about it because I've wanted Captain Lancaster to die since the very first moment that we met him. So I'm okay with that. But
did it matter for the grand scheme of the episode?
That's what I was about to say. Like, what does it do moving forward? Here's the thing. Actually, no, this is what it does.
And also
remember, well, yeah, I don't know about that man in the closet, but what I will say is, remember, they asked when they brought Christina over, they asked who could reverse the spell completely. And she said only the captain. And they were like, oh, he died. And so she was like, oh, okay, well then, you know, all I can do is slow it down. Like I can reverse it and slow it down, but eventually Dee will die. So I think Christina knew that he was alive. And what she could have done was taken his broken body, because he wasn't dead yet, over to that house and fully healed Dee. But instead, she knows that they need to get the Book of Names from 1921. So she didn't. She watched him die, essentially, when she knew he could have been the one to do it. So maybe that was the point.
Oh, also, too, Dee said that Christina also gets control of the lodge now. So she has a police force.
As William, yes. Mm-hmm. Because, you know, they're not going to let her as a woman.
Yeah.
But as William, yes. But yeah, so and I'm not even sure, because, you know, a lot of people don't know that Christina's been moonlighting as William. And I don't even think that his officers that were in the room heard when he whispered, Christina. I don't even think that they were paying attention. So yeah, I think that personally, I think she did it on purpose. She wanted to make sure that he was actually dead, one, so she could get her power, and two, so that they could go get those Book of Names.
Well, and she could have reversed it because she had the rock in the desk. So she could have just reversed the curse that she put on him.
Yeah.
She chose not to.
But
Carrie, we know that she's trash. Let's ask Trey, I mean, you're very quiet as we're talking about your white queen right now. And I'm just kind of, what are your thoughts?
She's innocent. Of everything that's been said against her, she's innocent. But no, I do think that she knew that. I mean, for one, she wanted to see him die. For one, on one hand, I do think that she just wanted to see him die. But also, I think she did know that he could have done what she did with the curse. But then at that point, she wouldn't they wouldn't need her anymore. So that's why she didn't do that. So
go down.
I'm just kidding. I know
you're roasting.
I know she's not innocent. She is a little bit innocent, but. As we've seen in prior episodes, we know that she has multiple layers. So just don't
layers?
Yes, multiple layers.
Trey, I mean, he just child.
Just bear with. Just when y'all. I'm just telling you. When we get to the final episode, I just would love to see if she ends up being the big bad. You know.
Lord, I just want you to cover Trey right now because the way that he gave us this terrible explanation, Lord, about Christina, who is the devil. Okay? And you said you would protect us against these demons that come into our life, and I want you to protect Trey from the demon that has brainwashed him. Okay, in Jesus' name, amen.
Trey just out here.
I'm just saying. In all seriousness, though, I am very interested to see if she does be like the true big bad. I mean, it's kind of teasing it now, but I mean, we'll see.
What we teasing for is one more episode. Like,
I think.
What's happening?
Right. Who do you think then is the real big bad?
I don't know. I mean,
Montrose. I mean, who do you think?
Maybe. No. Y'all believe Montrose alone too.
Montrose is raggedy today, honey.
I mean, he was, but
wow.
I don't know.
Dang, Trey, you gonna get traded?
I said what I said.
Trey said it's
down on it. Oh my goodness, I can't. Ooh, okay, I'm sorry.
Ooh, come on, though. But this comment that you don't think Montrose destroyed the pages. Well, we saw him put him in the fire, though.
Yeah, he was drunk. I mean,
but maybe he didn't put all of them in there. Now that could be true.
I guess, but I mean, let's get into Montrose since we brought up Raggedy Montrose. Let's talk about Montrose, and essentially, we go back into Tulsa. He's been having PTSD. And he's trying to kill himself because he drank a whole thing of moonshine. Like, literally, Montrose should not even be alive in this episode after telling this bottle.
Maybe Montrose hit different in the 50s.
He could be dead. All that moonshine he drank, his internal organs should have been burned by the moonshine.
Child, every time I have moonshine, I'm filled with regret. So I don't know how.
Like, I'm just saying. So we see that actually Montrose Jonathan gave us a master class acting of Denzel, because when he realized that his daddy was drunk and then he did this, you know how Denzel, like, he'll like walk with you and he'll be like, I was just like, so you gonna tell your daddy off like that? And the way that you still be talking crazy to your daddy every single episode, I just be really confused. So she said, we are done after this. And I was just like, don't y'all still need Montrose to help? Like, I don't think this is the time to start an argument or a fight. Letty's sitting up here looking like, y'all.
Letty's facial expressions every time Tick and Montrose get to an argument.
Because honestly, Tick and Montrose make up to break up every week, honey. Like, we're no longer family. Okay, daddy, come on now. We got to do this. I hate you so much. But like, literally every week, the back and forth is exhausting. And even by the end of this episode, honey, they was back together. They're family. So,
but did y'all peep how Letty had on the same dress in her dream? In episode, in two episodes ago?
Whatever the episodes.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, This is like, okay, prophecy coming to fruition just in a different way.
He had on his same outfit from
when he got burned up too.
He had on whatever dream that he had on his same outfit too.
They was looking clean though. They was looking real clean. But we see that they go back to the house in order to find the pages, right? So Dora and George and Montrose, they all live right next door to one another. So we see Montrose getting his behind beat for basically having the flower in his hair and also to playing with George's prom jacket because it was supposed to be a prom that night. It's supposed to be a dance. But it was nice to see William Catlett from Black Lightning and Charm City Kings on this episode, even though he was playing Montrose Raggedy Daddy. But I was like, hey, boo, you fine too.
And Love Is, I would be remiss
if he Love Is, Black Boy. Yes, so I wanted to get your thoughts because this is Montrose, I guess it's supposed to be redemption. And to see him and Atticus watching, like Atticus is literally watching his childhood like play out and the same thing that he put him through. So like, what were your thoughts on this whole scene? And even the fact that Montrose to this day still says that he deserved it. And then Letty has to tell him like, no one deserves to be beaten like that. That is not okay. Trey, what are your thoughts? Let's see if you can redeem yourself.
Not me redeeming myself. I feel like Montrose. Right. But just like the fact that Atticus got this visual of generational trauma playing out and how you can like actually watch as he, I guess, comes to understand why everything has played out the way it has. Because, a few episodes ago, or maybe last episode, I don't know, they're blurring to me now. But what he was like, he thought that Montrose is the one who cheated on his mama, and to come to find out, they just had this really interesting dynamic because they all went through all of this. They all knew what Montrose was going through in that house, and I think it just all came together. And I really do think, y'all think Montrose is raggedy. I think that this is a good way to reframe his story, at least in the minds of the other characters too. Because Tick, I got tired of seeing him cry every week, so maybe he won't be crying about his family, about his father or Uncle Father.
Uncle Daddy, it's Uncle Daddy.
Uncle Daddy. He will be crying about the Uncle Daddy anymore. But I thought it was a really, really good moment.
First off, you gonna let Tick have his emotions, okay? Like,
it is okay for Black men to cry.
After a few episodes, though, y'all, stuff he be crying about.
He was giving you quality tears this episode, okay?
They were very quality. Very quality.
Yeah. I will say this. Like I said previously, another one of my prophecies came to life when we found out that George and Dora were together first, like I said. And so, I'm grateful that the writers have been listening to me along the way, which is totally not true. But I did say, I was like, no, I think they were together first. And this proves like, yeah, they were together first. And I really liked the part where Dora is pissed at George, like, you need to stand up for your brother. And future Montrose says, he did more for me than anybody knows. Like, yeah, in this moment, what you're seeing is you don't see him stand up for me right now, but he did more for me in my life than anyone else has ever done. And I was like, yes, you better stand up for your brother, honey. Like, I mean, it was really them against the world, the three of them. And so when I think about the trauma of just everything that happened in Tulsa, but specifically with these three kids, not only do we see Montrose's first boyfriend get his body blown away, literally into pieces, and it falls on Montrose. So that was traumatic in and of itself. But then having to deal with all of the white people still attacking them even after that happens, traumatic. But then think about it, their entire family's burned that day. Like, it's like the level of trauma. And then they had to, the three of them, get to Chicago, move to Chicago, your family died. Like, it's a lot. So
his dad died because his dad said he was going out the back to go look for Montrose.
Right. No, but I'm saying like Dora's whole family in the house.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I just didn't know. I mean, but
I'm saying it's still traumatic. Like the entire scenario is traumatic, and it made me understand why Montrose holds on to so much, and why he doesn't share that much. And it's real interesting that he even said it, like he had never shared his friend dying with anyone. But that has to haunt him in the middle of the night. Like, that man's brains were on him. Like, I was like, oh my God, I'm traumatized. I'm traumatized from looking at it. So
but that was also from a selfish standpoint too. And, you know, they think that Montrose left to go save George, but really he went to go visit his first love, Thomas. And it's an interesting conversation that happens between him and Tick. And he basically says that he basically tells him that Thomas was the first person on the list of sacrifices that I had to make to be your father, right? So first I was like, dang, like that's like you finna mess up the whole timeline. Like Tick is trying to tell him, like, literally you could kill me, like you could kill everybody, your grandson, all of these people. But then he said he cut off the soft parts of himself just to be a man. And that's why he kind of put it out of his mind what happened to Thomas, because then that would have to be him confronting who he is and who he loves. But then I guess he brought it back because he said the only thing he ever wanted to do was be his father. But I was like, sir, you were just trying to kill him and mess up the whole timeline. So I was really confused by this whole interaction with them.
I think his feelings are just complex. Like, I think it's really hard for him to even now, as an adult, be able to unpack the trauma.
Yeah, he's still even as you talk about the dynamic in his relationship with.
I have to disappear because my computer about to die.
I can't think of what's his friend's name?
Thomas.
No.
Whose friend?
Montrose.
Sammy. Even
as we see in that relationship, like he's still working through that a lot. But I have to. So I was not. So what's I was coming for a black man showing emotions. I was not. Tick is trash. Tick is a very trash character, and trauma does not exclude you from being trash. So
I do think that everyone has trauma. Everyone has baggage. There's a lot of things that happened this episode, trauma baggage wise,
and not even
that's starting to get us to kind of understand the layers of people. But this is exactly why Montrose turned to alcohol. So I think it's two reasons. Like, not only is it his relationship with his father and his, dealing with, kind of coming to terms with his sexuality that also lead him to alcoholism. But we see when his dad beats him up, his dad is drunk. So I think also he's predisposed to alcoholism as well. And so all of those layers, I think that Tick needed to see that in a weird way. Like, I don't think that he would have ever even remotely understood his father. And I don't think conversations would have done it justice. Like, I think that he physically needed to see what it was like for his dad and his grandfather to interact when he was a child. I think he needed to see what it was like in Tulsa specifically. Like, I think he just needed to get some additional context in order to be able to understand him.
But I think also too,
if Christina's trash too, I know, but Tick is still trash.
I know Tick's trash as well, but also too, Montrose is going through PTSD right now. Like, he's reliving a very serious trauma that has happened in his life. And for those of you who don't know about the Tulsa Massacre of 1921, and Montrose alludes, he mentions the name of Dick Rowland, who was his 19-year-old boy. He was a black shoe shiner, and then he got accused of sexually assaulting a 17-year-old white woman. And they put this in a newspaper, and then it's basically all of the white residents, because Tulsa was segregated. They went into the town of Greenwood. They went to the town of Greenwood, which is where the black residents reside, and also to this wealthy Wall Street district. They call it the Black Wall Street, right? Of where all these prominent black families live. And you hear him mentioning the surgeon who was killed, all of these different people. And after this weekend of violence, of white people literally going, burning, looting, notice the words that I'm using: burning, looting, kind of the same things that they try to depict Black people right now, or people who are protesting right now. I think it's important to bring that up, the verbiage that they do use, because this is a big moment in history that they only just started covering just years ago, right? So this is what he's having to relive all over again. And to know how everything is going to play out, how he foreshadows us to know that Dora's family is literally burned alive. Like, they literally burned the entire family on the inside of the house. Like, that is just crazy to me. And you see when Letty is taking her sweet time, and we're going to get to this a little bit later, but you see the bombs, like them literally bombing this Black town. But it's interesting because he starts talking about how this guy came to save them, how this man with a baseball bat, and then it's really the same verbiage that he uses is what we saw at the beginning of the series opening in episode 1. And so basically Tick was always supposed to come back into time and to save them, which I thought was very interesting, adding more layers to this multiverse. So Trey, what were your thoughts on Tick saving them with the baseball bat?
I think it was just so interesting, and the just the way that the young version of Montrose looked at Tick when this was happening. I can't think of the exact line, but it just kind of also brought like their whole debacle from this episode full circle. But I didn't even see even in the moment of that, when they were like, when you could see that that's what they were heading toward, I wasn't even thinking that. And then I do have issues with how these back half of these episodes tied in overall with the plot, but that was some good that was a good nugget that they laid right there in this part.
Which nugget? It broke up for me. I'm sorry.
This is the one with the bad.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah.
His hold up moment, like Letty had in episode 3. But I do want to talk about Letty for a little bit, because she is given the most important task of actually getting the book names. And so, of course, her Vans gave the entire thing away.
First off, she was wearing Chuck Taylors, though, but okay.
Those were Chuck Taylors. They look like Vans.
They were Chuck Taylor.
Oh, okay. Look like they put more padding in their shoes these days. Okay. But I do want to give, did Journey run track? Because the form she has as she's running.
I don't know. Maybe.
Because I just really want to give her props for how fast she's running. I just wish that she could have utilized that same energy and strength that she had in that moment when she was running from being shot at the end of the episode, when she's taking her sweet time to have this big moment. And I'm just like, sis, the portal's about to close. Hippolyta hair didn't turn blue. Her eyes rolled to the back of her head. I was just really confused. But I do think it's important that this entire episode, we talk about sacrificing ourselves in the present so that our future generations can come to fruition, to prosper. And I find it interesting after his cousin gives her the book names, and she reads Jeremiah 29:11, like, for God knows the plans that he has for you, and I'm gonna get killed by my mother if she sees me mess this up. But for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for you to prosper and not to harm you, plans to give you hope in a future. And I think it's very interesting that she's giving her this book knowing that she has to sacrifice herself in order for, her great grandchild, to be brought into this world. And so I wanted to get your thoughts on that moment. And also, too, with the poem by Sonia Sanchez that they played, they do the voiceover called Catch the Fire. I wanted to get your thoughts on that scene as they're praying together as she's burning to death. And Kay, we can start with you.
Yeah. When Tick's great grandma, is really starting to believe Letty, because it takes a while for her to actually come to and be like, all right, girl, I guess you're telling the truth. These shoes are from the future. When she starts to like finally kind of understand that level of sacrifice, I don't think anyone would willingly, like, it takes a lot to mentally prepare to willingly know that you're about to burn alive in a home, and so is the rest of your family. Like, but knowing that you're trying to save future generations by this sacrifice, it was heartbreaking. Like, and the fact that, you know, like Letty obviously is covered by magic in this moment. So she, you know, is not worried about herself, and she's not necessarily worried about her son. But I just thought, just imagine having to stand with someone in their final moments as they die the most heinous death. Like, it's not even like they're passing, they're in a bed, they're in a hospital, you know, you're kind of expecting it. This is different because she literally just caught fire and Letty was standing there holding her hands, watching her burn alive.
And she had to let her hand go because she was protecting her. Spell was protecting her, but you had to let her die.
You have to let her die because you have to just allow the future to be what it's supposed to be. And so the entire time I was really just thinking about how, like, the crux of this episode, like really what this episode was about, was the sacrifices that mothers make for their children, because everyone in this episode is making a sacrifice for their child, every parent. So Hippolyta is making the sacrifice of almost dying at the portal, right? So that they can get the Book of Names to help save her daughter. Tick's great grandmother is making the sacrifice for her future generations. Letty is walking through the fire and kind of making her sacrifice for her son as well. And I even liked something that I do want to point out that happened. And I was like, maybe this will come around. I'm not entirely sure. But, you know, there is one part right before she asks her to pray. She says, when my great great grandson is born, he will be my faith turned to flesh. And I thought, whoever wrote that line, because I do not know who wrote this episode or wrote that line, I was like, damn, that is some good writing. But also, ain't nobody tell you it was a boy, girl. So how you know that? That was actually what I was thinking. I was thinking, great grandma? No one said I was having a son. Letty just said my child. She never said the gender or the sex. She never said anything about that. So I was really like, how do you know this? Will we see great grandma again in a different timeline? Has she been here before? What has occurred? So that kind of got my wheels churning. But I will say that this entire scene actually gave me chills, because even hearing Sonia's poem, like, you know, kind of over it as they're burning, but also in the midst of them, like starting off in prayer and then ending with that poem. It was just, I mean, honestly, this was the best scene of the episode for sure. Like, but yes, Letty did not say son, because I went back and I watched 3 times to make sure. She said child. She said child. So the fact that the great grandma said my grandson, I was like, how does she know this?
Trey, I want to ask you about this long walk that we have, right? So the portal, Ticton went back into the portal. Hippolyta is frying up, hair turning blue and everything. Montrose is having his moment doing this little monologue as Letty is taking her sweet time walking. I know this is supposed to be a powerful moment. You see the bombs coming, she walking through the fire and stuff. But I'm like, Letty.
Maybe she forgot that the portal was going to close. Like, or maybe she thought Hippolyta was having fun out there trying to keep it open. But I'm like, Letty, I know that you are invulnerable right now, but can we just get like a little like a light jog, like just pick it up a little bit more.
With the book.
It was powerful though. Actually,
it was.
No, I understand it was powerful, but like the Hippolyta is literally over frying right now. I mean, I felt like this was.
Hippolyta was literally turning into the comic book. Like, he was turning blue hair into the comic.
But this was a missed opportunity to play Girl on Fire.
No, I will say I agree with the modern selections in this show. But if they had done Sharronda. This girl
is on fire.
I personally feel like the entire episode was a missed opportunity to play anything from the Gap Band, particularly my favorite song of all time. But I just feel like y'all could have utilized the Gap Band in here, since y'all want to play modern music. We in it.
And we know Lady was in shock, y'all. I'm just saying.
You said a shark.
In shock.
Oh,
I do want to talk about something, because in the beginning of the episode, Christina is going through Letty is going through Dee's drawings, and she was talking to. She said, "Dang, not Letty D. Dang, sorry." She said that she has a gift, right? And so we see at the end of the episode that Hippolyta is turning into the comic.
Literally.
That basically everything that Dee has been drawing has she's prophesizing basically. So what are your thoughts on that, Trey?
I think that, it kind of sticks me to the point that Christina made earlier in way earlier in the episode, and we didn't talk about this. And I think that it was important to note that she told Ruby something along the lines of what did she say? Like every point of my ascension has been meticulously planned.
Uh-huh.
And at the end of the day, we don't know how much she knows. And I think that she knew all along that these drawings had a much better, way higher meaning than the Freemans or the
Freemans,
the Black Freemans that they have that they knew about it. So I think that she definitely knew that even before she even picked up the drawing and said until even thought about her talent.
Well, I think that that's why she purposefully downplayed it. If you pay attention to her, she's looking through them. She was like, I mean, yeah, these are very good. She was like, oh, look at the drawings, so meticulous. She's downplaying it, but I think that the reality is that she already knew that Dee would hold a key to something in the future. She knew that these drawings would be, kind of because Dee is drawing everything that's coming. And so, Dee technically drew those twins out, literally out with her drawing. So, I just, I don't know. I feel like Dee has to hold a larger key than we know, but we only got one more. And again, I don't think all my questions are going to be answered next week. So I'm just going to have to be okay with that, I think.
I swear I've been listening to y'all, but I've been trying to hold on this laugh. When they said they should have played Bomb and Gilead, and then they had to say that it's a bomb.
I would have liked another gospel song though.
Now, actually, I do like Carlos's comment though. Is Dee drawing or is the future coming from Dee's drawings? And I think it's the future's coming from Dee's drawings. I think she draws and it's coming to life because we saw that with the twins. We saw that she drew them and they appeared. And she knew that if she drew them, they would appear. Remember, because she had locked herself in she had locked and then she realized nothing was coming, so then she purposefully drew it, and then here we are. So maybe it's a little bit about that, huh? Can she alter the future with these drawings? Ooh, come on, Carlos. Gotta give me the tea.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry.
Guys.
I'm sorry. I had to. I apologize. We have one episode left. I didn't watch the preview, but I know if GI don't pop up, if I need to know, does Hippolyta know that George is Tick's dad? I still need that explanation. That's why when she just interrupted, I was like, "Beesh, what do we do?"
We ain't gonna have these answers. I don't think.
I think exactly. That's why I said either two things will happen. Either we'll get a second season, or we'll be okay with these unanswered questions.
But I just don't know if I would want them to.
I don't want to continue this story first.
I don't want to. I know everyone in the chat. Everyone in the chat.
I want it to be another.
It would have to be another story. Maybe have these same characters. But y'all, I don't want this in season 2. We do not need to drag this out to season 2. We don't. I'm on board.
We can use the same actors in new roles in a new timeline as new characters with the whole new.
This would just be like Watchmen. This would be just like Watchmen doing a season 2 with the same characters and stuff. I'm not with either one of them. Because you don't want to retread on things, and then I don't know. Especially when you're going out of source material.
What I will say is what I want for a season 2 Watchmen is actually for it to be centered on the kids, because there were actually a lot of children with parents who were superheroes and villains that we saw. And I would be interested in Let's
For Watchmen
like
or Lovecraft?
and we manage the kids.
Watchmen.
That's what I would do.
You said for Watchmen?
For Watchmen, yeah.
But I would love for Lovecraft Country to for it to take place
Give
in
me something else.
Post civil rights.
Yes.
Maybe the 70s, 80s, early 90s, something like that. And have these same actors in different roles, and still talking about Black horror and stuff.
Yeah, give us the Black American Horror Story. I mean, if Sarah Paulson can play legitimately almost every character in American Horror Story, and Ryan Murphy can tell us that they're all still connected, yet Sarah Paulson is everyone, then please, we can do it here too.
Justine said, can we discuss the very real generational trauma and the history of our lived experiences as Africans and in America? Woo, we are the superheroes. I should have did better with the woo, but I'm sorry, I'm having hot flashes right now.
Yeah, I mean, child, I'm tired. The generational trauma.
I'm tired.
This episode is trauma personified.
But I'm tired of having to explain something that still happened. Like, not even this next year, it'll be the 100-year anniversary of the Tulsa Massacre. And the fact that we're not teaching this in school and people still don't know about it, that's a problem.
Or even other ones like Rosewood and Wilmington.
Right, exactly. And I was about to say, and the fact that most Black history is only staying alive because of us, because of the conversations that we're having with our cousins, our children, our, friends and family. That's deplorable, because it really should just be a part of educational curriculum, because it's a part of American history. But of course, we know that America has a history of not wanting to be seen as bad. And so we will manipulate everything to make ourselves look good. And by we, I mean white people. So here we go.
Thank you, Treehouse.
Thank you. I'll find an episode to watch it for y'all.
Oh, Treehouse said, hit that like button for all three of us coming together.
Oh.
No, but it's really wild. Like, I'm from North Carolina, and where the Wilmington race riot was what it was called before, and I don't know if Wilmington was the second most deadliest after Rosewood, or if it's, I don't know. I just know it's Tulsa, then Wilmington, and Rosewood. But we don't learn that.
It's in New York that is the biggest, but that's only because the only reason that Tulsa isn't the biggest is because they lied and said only 20-some people died when they really said it was over 300, because the American Red Cross they basically flubbed the numbers to not make it seem as big as it was.
Yeah, we don't.
So the question that I see though about Dora's sister.
Where's this at?
When Dora's sister said she had a crush on George, had she not died in the fire, she may have ended up with George.
Dora's sister?
Yeah, remember when Dora's sister was talking to Letty in the kitchen? And was just saying, I'm kind of sweet on George, but you can't tell anybody. And Letty was like, yeah. I mean, mostly because Letty knew she was going to die, so she was kind of ignoring.
She was like, girl, we got time for this.
Right, which I thought was kind of rude. At least make the girl feel like she has a chance. I mean, only you know she's about to die. She doesn't know she's about to die, so you could treat her with care. That's what I wanted to tell Letty.
No, if Christina died next week, I will not be sad.
If Christina died?
Someone said if Christina died next week, I'm going to be sad. I'm not going to be sad. I just know that she did and did it well, and going to go out with a bang if that happens. So.
Why are you lying, Trey?
You going to go out with a bang? Trey is...
I'm just saying. I would not allow the work that Abby Lee has done in the show to go unrecognized. And everybody else would.
I mean, she is killing it as an actress, for sure. I have to give props to Abby.
She even just looks terrifying. She looks terrifying.
Yeah. But
I still just love how Fitz definitely died.
Fair.
No.
Even a Wi-Fi know you lie. Okay.
That's fair.
Why you always lying?
sleeping with though in that
Who?
thing. Just random. Remember, Tick had some girl in his.
Are we gonna?
Oh yeah.
Are we gonna
That
get
black
back
woman
to
in his
like-
bed.
It's just a lot of. I mean, overall for me, I enjoyed this episode. I just think that there were a lot of things happening, but not enough things to progress the story along. Only 2 things happened. They got the book of names, and Tick is gonna come willingly to do the little Equinox stuff. But everything else, like,
I'm gonna be really mad if we don't get any. If we just don't get that.
I'm gonna be really mad if we don't really finally understand why Ruby and Letty's family is so important. Like if we don't finally connect the dots there and why this family, because you got the Teddy Riley. Honestly, I mean, right about now, I'm about to say that Ruby is actually Letty's mama, and Letty is the love child of Ruby and William. Because hell, I mean, like, we don't know nothing. Like, please tell me why this family is important, please.
We sorry, but we gonna stop pausing. I'm sorry.
Okay, if that was a really wild theory. But
I mean, it's only wild because I'm like, I'm tired. Like, we don't know why their family is important yet, and this is the end. So can you tell me why? Like, because I don't think, I mean, obviously, Letty's important because she is bearing Tick's child. I get that, but I feel like there's something else, with their family that matters more prior to that. And so, that's how it's going to be.
I'm just stuck on your feet that you
well,
literally
I made it up right now because I'm
Letty is Ruby and William's baby.
Because I'm tired. Like, child, I just
That's why everybody thinking Ruby pregnant.
No, I don't necessarily think that. I'm just tired. I want to know why their family's important. But Dora,
not even if you don't think that, it's just like I'm just thinking like, wait, it's a wild scenario.
Oh, it is a wild scenario, but yeah, she's not actually pregnant. I'm just mad. Like I'm just like, come on, guys, give me more. But what happened to Dora? Well, Dora left with
Dora with Montrose and George.
Yes, Montrose and George. Child's gonna say with Tick, but Tick not born yet. So
I almost said Tick too. I had to catch myself.
Whew. Not Letty is Renesmee. I love Renesmee.
So yeah,
so creepy baby. Whew.
I'm having hot flashes, so we're gonna have to cut this short. But yeah, I mean, we haven't watched the finale, so I hope that it answers more questions than leaving us with more questions. But I think we're gonna be left with more questions. Are you saying ew because I'm having hot flashes? Or
ew because of my theory?
Oh.
Right there. Oh no, it said ill because of Renesmee, which Renesmee was a baby. Renesmee was a creepy baby.
I was like, dang, can I be hot in peace? So.
Oh wait, here's a comment though. So since Hippolyta is Orinthia Blue, could there be some magic tomfoolery that Panther Man is a representation of the monster?
Yeah, who's Panther Man though?
Panther Man is in the comic, correct? Oh, child, they didn't say, Sharronda, are you pregnant? Child, this is escalating, and I'm a
virgin.
Talk about who is in the basement. There's so many things happening. I don't know. I think Panther Man. I thought Panther Man was a part of the comics that she was writing as well, right? Like,
sure, they said it's William the father.
Now y'all know William is my
William the father.
The way William walked into that room, though,
I know William is my boo.
William, make it
not even try it. You know William is my boo.
I'm a virgin. Thank you. Y'all try to get me caught up knowing my grandma. I talked to my grandma yesterday. She was like, "Can you please stop changing clothes when you're on your channel?" And I was just like, "Okay."
Yeah, I was like,
showing the goods.
Okay, that's what I thought. Panther Man is in the comics. I think Panther Man was probably like closely. I thought it was, yeah. And I thought it kind of represented her dad. Like I thought it kind of represented George was my understanding. But But child, can we please just tell me what this book of names is finna do? Can anybody just explain that to me? Because child, right now I feel like it's a myth and a legend as well. So what?
Thank you, E-Rock, because I'm just like, I don't even know what we talking about no more.
I'm just confused though, honestly. Like, what is this book of names gonna do? Please, someone tell me. Like, is it gonna rewrite all of history? Like, how do you even use it? What are the words that she gave her? Like,
but really, does William have sperm?
Okay, well, dead people generally cannot produce offspring.
But he's not dead.
He's not dead. Technically, he was a vampire and he was dead. So
I'm not playing with you no more. And yes, I do hope. It's been 2 whole weeks and I ain't got no biceps or triceps. We got a little bit with that blue shirt. You see how he makes sure the shirt, his biceps and the triceps so big that he had to, it only stopped here before it can even get to the muscle because it just, whew.
Well, I hope he get everything he need next week from his boot.
He got scared of blood.
He about to die next week, honey. So we're gonna say, I think one thing is for sure, probably he's going to die.
Tammy, well, you cute, boo. Okay, boo.
I think he will die. So R.I.P. to Tick, and I hope he get everything he need from all his baby mamas before he hears this.
Why y'all say this? Why y'all say this? I'm so done with y'all. I can't. Okay. I can't do this with y'all tonight. So do we think that Dee is going to lose her arm? Because Tick was saying in the book his son wrote that there was a one-armed girl.
I mean, clearly it's Dee because y'all niggas taking your time with taking their time. Get back. I'm so mad. I'm sorry. Like, I really tried this whole time, but I am mad because literally they are taking
this demonetized, okay?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say it, but they're really taking their time, and I'm over it. Like, over it.
Clearly, okay?
Like, honestly, y'all, like, the way they were moving, they didn't even care about, like, honestly, Hippolyta is on her deathbed, like on her deathbed, trying to hold this portal up. And these people just kept going so slowly, like, we don't even need. I'm like, y'all.
You took it way back with the polyjuice potion. You took it way back. Okay, Harry Potter fan.
So, yes, guys, I'm sorry. I apologize. It did slip.
Are we over it?
I'm not over it. I just don't know where it's going.
We just have so many questions left.
And you shouldn't feel that way when you have a season finale coming up. You shouldn't feel like
one episode. Like, honestly, last week of The Boys, I was like, oh, I feel good because I think I'm gonna get some questions answered. But this week of Lovecraft Country, I'm like, I don't foresee myself getting any questions answered. Like, I just feel like
Felicia got a point though. Her arm did get rejuvenated. So how she
lose her reversal spell only slows it down. So it rejuvenates it for a period of time. It basically reset the spell. That's what Christina kept saying. She said, I cannot stop it, but I can reset it to advise her more time.
Okay.
So she still will probably lose that arm. And especially because no one has checked on her the entire time because they were taking their sweet time and her mom was trying to keep the
portal. So she was sitting in the car this whole time.
And nobody, no, you remember Dee is on the inside. She's just laying there. So we'll see. Oh, someone said, was this episode shorter? It did actually feel shorter to me.
Y'all got something called my girl Christina.
So, but yes, guys, I'm so sorry. I apologize for my language. It did slip. Well, Sharronda doesn't want to get demonetized.
I'm the one that just go get demonetized. Shoot, you apologize.
Demonetized. You will not.
Yeah, it did end early because people started commenting about the episode.
It definitely was shorter. But you know what may have happened? This one may be shorter because they may have extra time next week.
You really think that?
Yeah, I think that they may give like an hour 10 next week. Like they may do a little something extra.
10 minutes.
At least like hour 5.
Okay. Well, that is all the time that we have for you guys today. Because I need to go turn my air conditioning on. Maybe I don't have it on.
Are you okay?
I'm hot. I'm hot. Okay. Oh, thank you, Tammy.
Oh,
yes.
You feel better, Tammy.
Sending you love.
Yeah.
Heart. That was a bomb heart. Okay, Tammy, look at this little bomb heart I made for you, boo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tammy, I hope you rest well and self-care. It's important.
Just like
Oh no. Okay, I have to go, April.
y'all go to hell. I'm not even doing this.
Big mama though. Oh my
They still pregnant, Sharronda.
I am not pregnant. It's a pandemic. I am not getting my walls blown out. Like, no. And definitely wouldn't be getting walls blown out without no rubber, okay? But if my parents are watching, I'm a virgin. So why are we even having this conversation?
If my parents are watching.
I'm just saying. But I hope that you guys, thank you for joining our Lovecraft episode 9 breakdown live after show. I thank my special co-host Trey. I still hope the Lord covers you and really delivers you out of this like just mental state that you're in right now with Christina. I really want to.
We will see what this finale brings us, and I will admit if I feel like I was thinking the wrong way, but I do want to clarify that it was never about the character. It was not about Christina. It was about the character and how well she was a villain. You can go back and check the tapes, check the prior episodes. She's a good villain. That's all I have to say.
Hey, thank you.
I know the way we look at Trey whenever he mentions Christina, I'm like
confusion, okay? But Kay, tell everybody where they can find you on social media.
Twitter, Instagram, The Lady KB, TheLadyKayb, and YouTube through the lens of Lady KB. Interviews, recaps, everywhere else. But thanks, guys, for joining. Yes, early voting starts tomorrow in Georgia. Early voting starts Tuesday in Texas. And please vote. And yes, apologies, y'all. I can't believe I let it slip, but I was really fed up. Fed up with that.
Thank you, Aaron Rodriguez. Christina's hell interesting, though. Yes. That's all I have to say.
Right.
I feel like
thank you, Alicia, too. That's all
I say. Trey. I mean, I really try with Trey, offline to help him with this love of Christina, but I can't. So vote instead, because that will have more of an impact than us trying to change Trey's mind.
Where can they find you on social?
At Trey Mangum on Twitter and at Trey.Mangum on Instagram.
Like
and
I said,
he blue check, shawty.
Oh, blue check on the ground. Need to get this blue check on Twitter though. Ain't happening.
We all need it, okay?
Twitter be wild.
But I do want to tell you guys, I hope that you guys have a great start to your week. As always, protect your peace, protect your energy, and don't let nobody steal your joy. And I love you guys 3,000. And until I see you again, but I hope everyone has a very fantastic week. And we will see you guys next weekend. Oh, also, too, hold up. No, it'll be before my birthday. I just realized my birthday next week, y'all. I didn't even realize it. There's really no point to that. But if you guys want to send a cash app,
donations,
pay me too long, something, let me know. Lord, your sugar daddy that I don't have to interact with. But everyone, have a really great day, and happy Indigenous People Day for tomorrow. And Tammy, thank you for showing us love from Jersey. We appreciate you. We love you.
Yeah,
we're sending prayers to you.
Somebody said go to bed, Trey. I can't. Next week, 2 hours. Wait, what's 2 hours? Not the finale.
I know.
It's 2 hours?
Who said this? How you know?
We're not blocking out 2 hours of time.
Who said that?
MJ Jones.
Who was saying all that?
MJ Jones. I'm reading the comments.
It's going too fast.
2 hours. MJ Jones, say yourself. Tell us. Give us the tea.
I gotta fact check that.
Honestly,
Right?
2 hours? I mean, that would make sense. My questions will likely get answered, but
Okay. Well, I guess it's 2 hours then.
I have not looked that up though.
We don't get our episodes until Wednesday, so we won't know until Wednesday what the actual runtime is.
And honestly, they probably won't give it to us because it's the finale.
You don't think they will?
Mm-mm.
Don't say that. I can't stay up. Come on, that's 2 hours.
Doesn't the show come on after Lovecraft though?
What does?
Somebody said 90 minutes. Okay, I think y'all are just
Y'all making up stuff. See? Y'all got my nerves bad. My interview with the cast will come out this week. God willing.
God willing. That's honestly.
Okay.
It says 1 hour on DVR. So April
can rewind like that to us. Yeah, we
3 hours. Okay, y'all.
Yeah, y'all playing with us now. Okay.
It's time. It's a real time to go to bed.
Y'all be blessed. Okay, I'm a pray for y'all. This line going on in this chat right now.
Right.
But until I see you guys next week for our last live chat, are y'all coming back next week? Let me get it on camera. So.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, you mean us? I thought you meant everyone else.
I will be here.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, I'll be here.
Y'all got real quiet on me. I'm like, dang, okay. All right.
Cool. Abby Lee is all Sherry and Queen, yes. Respect to that.
All right. Well, I can't. Y'all be blessed and pray for Trey, y'all. But I'll see you guys later. Bye, everybody.